Hi there. So this is part 4 of the hand embellishing of a giclée print of Henosis. It's developing along quite nicely. It's taken like an hour and a half in now, so but I'm not shocked about that. It's quite a complicated image. It was going to need a fair amount of time to work into it to get it to do something different from the original, which it's starting to do now, so hopefully I can feed on that and give it a new lease of life, as it were. And then I'm going to do one more where I film it. Obviously I'm happy to take orders on these. It looks like I'm going to be doing other versions of the Departures in Wonderland that I've got videos of me working on. That's been quite a popular one. I thought it might be. I'm hoping this one has a similar effect. I'm going to do one more, which is concurrent to this one. It's the middle section across here, and there you go. Not seeing that for too long, because that is a piece that I'm working on at the moment, and that's the direction that I'm going to take these in now. Is well, not exclusively, but sort of try to keep it concurrent with what I'm doing, and then it gives me ideas. There's practical purpose in it for me as well then, rather than just, you know, gratifying myself about an image that I did a few years ago, which is what it's been largely with these. Obviously not this one. This one's from this year. The others are from a year or two, 3, 4 years ago. I mean, I say that I've got ones that I'm highly likely to go back to over the course of this month. But it's a good way of sort of thinking about my sketchbooks, just using already established images and then seeing how far I can push them without having to worry about doing that within the final, bigger, more conclusive image. that's giving a bit more dimension to the central board, right? It's hard to tell, right? A step away. So that's about a quarter of an hour away in. it's yeah, I'm a lot more pensive, aren't I, about it than I was yesterday when I first working on it. But I think that's showing in the image. It's starting to get some features to it, shall we say. Not that it was ever short of that. I haven't started any of these reworking of these giclée prints with any particular, I haven't got an image in mind. And I don't really have that when I paint either. I haven't really got an image in mind. I have an idea about how I want to see. That's what I have, generally speaking. It's a very, especially with stuff like this, you can't envisage complicated stuff like this. Well, I can't anyway. Maybe there's people out there who can. Good luck to you. It's the process that brings it, well, gives it any sort of meaning to me. Anyone can sit there thinking ideas in their head without any practical application, can't they? Unicorns are not rare in that realm. feeling I know what I've got to do, and it's involved a fair amount of work. That's right. Okay, let's see what happens. I hope I'm not moving that too much there when I do that. Sometimes it involves getting a bit heavy. What I should really do is get my grey pen into action. I will in just a sec. I want to know why ink manufacturers think that most greys involve mixing with the colour green. Is it to do with it looking more like graphite? You go and photocopy pencil with a black and white photocopier, it goes a sort of green. And I've got graphite specific coloured ink here, but this has got quite a bit of, as a constituent part of it, the original, and that's really green. I don't know why it's blue, could be any, it's a bit like a brown really, isn't it? You could have a browny grey as well, seen plenty of that, like a very pale umber. You mix into Payne's grey. I substitute most people's for using the, tell yourself you're not actually painting with black when you're painting with that. Yeah, so I'm trying something here that I contemplated with the original, but because it's bigger and it's got a lot more sort of scope for detail in the handwork in it, I left it where it was, but I did contemplate doing this with the original, and that was, how do I put this, tonally shifting it back, pushing it. Because like I was saying in the first or the second video, that I've had people say to me there's something quite iconic about it, and I'm not really 100% sure what that means anyway. I'm not really interested in being 100% sure what that means, to be honest with you, but I think part of that is because it feels like it's coming out to meet you. It's quite a greeting, even though it's really dark. It's, you know, there's dark contingents to it, without a doubt. But it doesn't, I don't find it personally, I mean, I'm a good metric for these things, but I don't find it a particularly overbearing or threatening piece of work. It's affable, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's not that central portrait that holds it all together. That's not a particularly threatening look on her face there, is it? And I think that's what's behind that, is that it's very disorientating, because as I pull you in on the focus, trying to find, it doesn't needn't necessarily be the central portrait, but it's all sort of crosshairing in on that, zeroes in on that. And what happens is I know that your peripheral vision will lose focus on these other aspects that are focal points when you're looking at a face. So when you look at somebody's face, you're, you know, just like they found with the digitisation of people's faces and using that as identification, it's mostly through triangulation, geometric triangulation on the face. From what I understand of it, and I'm particularly well versed at that aspect of it, but you're focusing on set specifics of the features within the face, and that obviously has an effect on your peripheral vision. So things offset. So I know that your part of your peripheral vision, when it catches an eye, wants to go over and see what that eye is looking at, but it can't because it's got this eye here, and then that eye there, and that's what I'm trying to do within this. That's a big part of what I wanted to do with portraiture, is to I intuitively know that it will pull your eyes all over the place. That's that, and if that's what it's doing to you, that's the intention. So don't. It's a feature. It's not a fault. Because I think that's what my internal imagination is like, personally anyway. It's not one focused image. I don't have, if I think of a person, anyone, doesn't matter who, me or friends, family, doesn't even have to be a human, an object even. How many different ways are there of looking at it? You know, if I say to you the word plate, most of you are envisaging some sort of theme on the format of a circle. Yet, the percentage of time that you actually see a plate as a circle is probably less than 1%, unless it's on a wall. Even then it's still ellipsoid, and I know technically a circle is an ellipsoid anyway, but you're seeing an ellipse most of the time when you see a circle. Yeah, you can form it to a plate, sorry, there you go. There's me faux paring it in the middle of it, and yet when you think plate, you think symbolically, you think circle. It's a bit like the 9-dot problem, which I haven't got time, my battery's going to run, but go and have a look at that on YouTube or Google it. The 9-dot problem looks really simple, actually it's really complicated, but yeah. So this is obviously going to go into another video now, so I'm going to try and pitch down the tones on this and see if I can do what I was going to do to the original, to this one, and it should bring something new and innovative out of it. But yeah, there's a bit more explanation there as to why this image is the way it is. At the end of it, it took a while, I had to do a bit of work. Okay, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, like I say, it's going to be available, only £100, so I think it's a bargain. So I'm not